Today we're going to go on to a new subject that will help us in solving even more complex equations as time goes on. But for now, let's just do a couple of quick examples of what we've learned up to this point. For example, we got 3y minus 7 equals 8. We all know that to solve this, we have to start with undoing the additions or subtractions, which is kind of the reverse order of operations. So we add 7 to both sides. There we are adding an integer to both sides. We did talk about how we're going to do a lot of that. We end up with 3y equals 8 plus 7. So 8 plus 7 is 15. Divide both sides by 3. And 15 divided by 3 is 5. So y on the left side of these two problems here is equal to 5. On this particular problem, number 2, we have to subtract 14 first because it's the constant, and even though it's in front of the variable term, it still needs to be subtracted off because it's a positive number. So when we subtract that off, we end up with 4x equals 38 minus 14, which is going to give us 24. Divide both sides by 4. And when we do that, we end up with x equals 6. So in problem 2, the answer is x equals 6. Okay, so today we're going to get into a lesson called combining like terms. And this process of combining like terms is used to simplify equations before we solve them. So let's take a look at which terms we can combine and that type of thing. So there's a little video there you can check out that has a lot of good examples in it. So we'll move on. What do we mean by terms? Terms of variables are called variable terms, such as 3x, 2ab, something like that. You can actually have more than one variable in a term for that matter. So any term with a variable in it is called a variable term. Terms with variables are called variable terms, and another thing we need to understand is a term without a variable, such as 4, is called a constant, or a constant term. Then lastly, like terms are terms that have the same variables, or they could all be constant terms. So they have the same variables, or they could just all be constant terms. And all constant terms are considered like terms, just like any term that has the same variable. So let's take a look at some examples. Like some like terms could be 3x and 5x. If both of those were in the same expression or same equation, they would be considered like terms. What about unlike terms? What if we had 2a and 3b? In the same equation? Those would not be considered like terms because their variables are not alike. While these variables are alike, that's what makes them like terms. So here's some examples. So what we're going to, in order to do this, we have to first identify the like terms and then combine them. And to combine them, we basically add the two numbers or subtract the numbers that are in front of the variables. So in this case, negative 5x plus 3x equals negative 2x. In this second example, we have two like terms. We have 6a and 4a. So we combine those together. 6a plus 4a equals 10a. And then we have a constant term that doesn't have anything that's like it. So we just keep it separate and put down plus 12. So this term, these two terms combined together give us 10a, and so our new expression is 10a plus 12. In our last example on this page, we've got two like terms that are constants. So let's combine them. Negative 4 minus 3 equals negative 7, and we can't forget the 12a out here in front. So 12a minus 7, and that's the way that one would look. Okay. Try a couple more. Well, let's change colors here. We got 12a and minus 4a. 12 minus 4 would be 8a. So we get done with this expression, we're going to have 8a's and a minus 4. In the next one, we actually have a couple of different like terms. We have negative 26 plus 19, which would be negative 7 when you combine those two like terms. Then when you combine these two like terms, you've got 14a minus 48a. So that's going to be negative 34a. So negative 34a. That's how you combine like terms. Now, this and this certainly look more simple than the original expressions. All right, let's do 3 or 4 more, and then I think we'll be ready to try these out. So I've colored all the ones that are the like terms with the same color here. So 5a and 4a combine to give us 9a. They're both positives, have plus signs in front. 6b and 6b combine together to give us 12b. And plus 13, the constant has no other like term, so we just write down what it equals, which is 13. And that's the first one simplified by collecting like terms. Try the second one. Let's start out. Our first term is the negative 9. Look through there. The only other like term is clear on the end, which is negative 11. So negative 9 and negative 11, when you combine them together, gives you negative 20. Then we have 8a and minus 5a. So 8a minus 5a is going to equal positive 3a. And then the last two, negative 2b and minus 6b, combine to give us negative 8b. And so as you can see, what we're doing is we're just adding and subtracting integers, just like we have been reminding you that we would over the last few weeks. So can I give you a chance to try some of these? So do the Alex assignment on combining like terms. Let's see how you do. Thank you very much.